Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Meatyard channel. Today we're going to do something different that isn't shard openings. We've talked a lot about how we started the game and what we wish we had done, so that's what it's going to be. Things that we did wrong, and if you're new to the game, don't do these things. Do other things. We'll tell you what to do, hopefully. Okay, so number one was me, and that was I did not research the starting champions. I didn't know how much I was going to be playing the game when I started, so I just picked the prettiest one, and that's Elhain. She's really pretty, and she's okay, but there is like right and wrong choices with the 4 starter champions, and Elhain's not the right choice. The right choice is Kael. To save you a little bit of research, you should start with Kael. He is a really good farming hero. He's decent on clan boss. He's good in arena. He will last you through the mid game. You should start with Kael, and I didn't. I started with Elhain. I put a lot of effort, I guess, energy, time into leveling her gear, to get her to be able to do things that Kael could have done easier. And then later I just had to redo with Kael anyway, as you can see. I didn't know also that you would acquire all of the champions at some point. So even if you really like Elhain, you'll get one later, much like this Kael that I have. So, you got any thoughts on that?
No, you did it pretty well, but that leads us into our next thing. Both of us had our starting champs for so long, and we didn't actually realize that it's actually super smart for your farmer champ to actually purchase your masteries for your farmer, because you're going to do a lot more damage and it's going to help carry you through the campaign. It's almost like night and day. As soon as you get all your masteries unlocked, it's a whole different game with them.
Yeah, and for your first couple champs, I guess my advice would be to save up the gems you get, especially if you're free to play, that you get from like the daily login and the weeklies and stuff that you get for completing the campaign, and use those gems to just buy out the mastery on at least your starter farming champ. Just buy them out. Just get them as soon as you can. It's what, 800 gems?
800 gems.
So your first 800 gems, just do Kael's masteries. Just get them done. Like you can see here, you just go and get all scrolls for 800 gems. Just do that on Kael. It'll make completing the campaign so much easier. It'll make your first like couple levels of arena so much easier. And then later in the game, you can use Kael to farm masteries on other champs so you don't have to spend gems, because Kael will be able to solo several ranks of the Minotaur. And then as people max out their masteries, you can use them to get further in the Minotaur. So just do that with your gems. Just do it. And then just do it. So the next thing that I messed up is books, right? As you can see on my high Katoon here, she's fully booked, which is not something you need to do. With your champs, you should look up which ones need their books. Some champs need everything booked out. Some only need one ability booked out. Some need no abilities booked out. High Katoon was one of my first epics, and I had epic books I had saved up, and I just dumped them all into her, and that's really dumb. She doesn't need them. It's a total waste. When you're new, books, especially epic or legendary books, are scarce. You don't get that many of them. So you should save them for champs that really need them. And High Katoon is not one of those champs. So don't do that.
Also, whenever when you're upgrading them, also only use the correct book for the champion. Do not use any type of legendary books on an epic, and do not use any epic books on a legendary or on a rare.
Yeah.
Because you get tons of rare books and you get very few epics, and you get even fewer legendary books.
Yeah, it's every legendary book I have ever gotten. I haven't used any yet, so don't do that. I didn't do that, fortunately, but I did waste a lot of epic books on High Katoon and some other characters that did not need them. So don't do that. Kind of leading into our, it's actually not our next point, but just saying, when you use copies of champs as books, we'll get back into this a little more later, but just while we're here for books, make sure you save at least one copy of each champ for fusions or for future reworks.
Actually, we'll use this as an example. Bog Champ is super good in the clan boss for very early players because of his decreased attack. Because you need a decreased attack player for your clan boss. And what I did starting out is I looked up Bog Champ's rank and I saw he wasn't that good. So I got rid of him because he wasn't that good anywhere but the clan boss. And then later it's like, I needed him for the clan boss and I didn't have him anymore. So I didn't ever get around to actually having a decreased attack champion until a lot later in the game. But do make sure that you save at least one copy of your champs just in case, because also with the fusions, you never know who they're going to have later. If they still do it, still up in the air.
Yeah, if they do another fusion, they changed around what champs are needed. Even if they bring back a previous fusion, there's no guarantee it's going to use the same champs. So older out-of-date guides might not even be correct. So for champions that you can't farm in the campaign, you should keep one of each, either in your vault or in your storage. So be careful when you're using them for books. Make sure you have a copy of non-farmable champs somewhere if you need it for a fusion, or if they get reworked and they become super pog and you're sad that you use them for food. So, well, we were going to talk about that later, but we just did it now. Anyway, hold a copy of a champ. Be careful when you use them for books. And when you use books, careful about the books.
Okay, and then the next thing is your silver.
Yeah.
The silver up here, while it seems like 6 million is a lot, it's not a lot. You can go through it super quick. And the mistake that I make, and I still make, is I spend all my silver to level up bad gear. Gear that's 2-3 star, don't go past 12 on it. There's no reason. You're just wasting silver. You're going to get better stuff. When you start getting the 5s and the 6s, that's when you should start going all in on it. And then also usually try to save them for an event too, but
you will get quests that ask you to upgrade a piece of gear, such as the daily quest you get once per day asking you to use 4 upgrades. Do those to like the minimum level when you're starting out and you have bad gear. Like if it tells you to upgrade something to 8, don't run wild with that and upgrade it to 16. Don't do that. A thing I did for wasting silver was in the shop. What's it? Hold on. The market. There we go. Market. Not that. We're not there yet. The market. The first time I saw a piece of like epic or legendary gear pop up, I still am dumb about stats on gear, but I saw a legendary piece of gear and I just bought it because I was like, holy shit, where will I get this legendary gear? Until you're comfortable with what stats are good and what stats the champions you're leveling need, don't do that. Most of the gear in the market is overpriced for what it is. It's almost never a good idea to buy gear in the market. Very rarely will it be. And if you're an early game player, you probably don't have the knowledge to know if it's a good deal, so just don't do it.
Yeah, just kind of research and make sure that you're making the best purchase for the stats.
Yeah, because like Meatyard was saying, you can go through silver very quickly when you're doing dumb stuff like that. So just don't do that. Okay, so our next one we already did. Hold a copy of all the champs in your vault, at least one of each. So we'll jump right to saving your energy potions.
So what that means is at the very beginning of the game, when you start leveling, they start throwing you energy like crazy. And every time you get it, you're like, oh my God, I got to redeem it. I need this energy. You can save these until the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month.
Yeah, different ones have different expirations.
You don't have to claim them right away. And every time you level up, your energy up here goes up 1 point. So if you save it early game, you can actually get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, and in the early game when you're leveling quickly, it refills your energy bar every time you level. So those refreshes are worth more later than in the beginning, because in the beginning it's going to refresh naturally as you level. You don't really need those. I remember when we first started, we spent one day where we spent like literally 8 hours playing Raid because we had so much energy. And that is fun, but if you can, just hold on to those refreshes. They'll be up in your inventory. Just hold on to them as long as you can before they expire, until you're going to need them for like an event. Because you're going to find later when you're doing events and you're trying to unlock Kreela Witch Arm that you're actually having to buy energy, and that's sad.
Also, when you do redeem your energy, make sure you go into the chest and you physically redeem it, because there has been instances where it will use the one that's actually got the longest time left on it, not the shortest. One. Yeah. And then this one.
This is the next one. So this is mine. after you use your first 800 gems to unlock masteries on your farmer character, your next 500 gems should be used to unlock the mine. The thing with the mine is it takes approximately 100 days to get the return of your 500 gem investment. And here I was 100 days ago. And I was like, who knows how long we'll play this game? I want to use these gems now. And now I regret it. And now every day I'm like, well, it's another 100 days until I get my investment back. It's not worth it anymore. And I'm stuck in this endless loop of not unlocking the mine and also regretting unlocking the mine. So just unlock the mine.
Okay, deal.
No, I can't. I don't have enough gems. I couldn't even do it if I wanted to. So just do it in the early game.
If you can see yourself playing the game for 100 days.
You will, and you'll regret it.
And then just so you know, the mine does upgrade 3 times. Each time costs 500, and it increases how much it'll make a day by 5. So it'll make 15 if you upgrade it all the way.
Did you upgrade it all the way?
I did.
Okay.
So mine's getting ready to pay for itself because we're almost to 100 days.
I know.
And I did it
every
early.
day my regrets pile up more and more with the mine. Okay, what's our last Okay, our last one is saving shards. So this is for you.
At the very start of the game, when you get these shards, you're like, oh my God, I gotta open them. I gotta open them. No, you need to wait and you need to save them for events like this. You got the 2x event going on right now. What happens is it actually increases your chances of getting epics and legendaries by double. So there's, instead of an 8% chance, it's a 16. Instead of a 0.5, it's a 1 for a legendary. So you need to save the shards for these times whenever they have these events and then open them then.
There are 2 kinds of events, and just be aware. 2x events are the ones we're talking about. There are events, I think they're called targeted summon events.
10x.
Yeah, where specific champs will have a 10x chance, but that doesn't mean your chance to open epics or legendaries themselves are boosted. They are the same rate. It's still a 0.1% or 0.5% chance to get a legendary, but if you hit that 0.5, then it will have a boosted chance to be one of the specific champs.
Not guaranteed to be that champ.
Just a higher chance. Those events are not for us in the early game. Those events are for people in the late game who are looking for those specific champions and have those kind of shards to burn. My advice in the early game is ignore those events, don't do anything for them, and wait for the 2x chance events. All of our videos on opening shards are all during 2x events, and we save our shards to them till then, except when we are weak and broken people. But you should definitely save your shards. So right now is a 2x event, and I got this one today from, I don't actually even know what, but we're just gonna open it because it's during an event.
Okay.
Let's go. Pog, it's another spider. I don't know if I have 2 or 3 spiders. Spider's actually useful. It's not sad to get 2 spider. Throwing back to books, never use epic champs as books. Maybe if you had like 5 of them, I could see. But your 1, 2, 3 of them, just save them in case there's a rework, or some champs you actually do use 2 or 3 of in a team, depending on who they are and what you're doing.
Like Royal Guard, you can use 2 of them.
Yeah.
Maneater, 2 of them.
Yeah. So in the early, when you're newer at the game and you don't know, or a champ looks really bad, they do reworks all the time and balance patches all the time. So like this spider, even though I know I already have one, he's just gonna go into the vault and hang out there in case I need 2 spiders, or there's a rework and spider becomes the best champ in the game and I want 2 of them. If I start piling up spiders, maybe he'll turn into books, but not today.
Or if he becomes a fusion like this,
That's
and
true.
you have to feed him to make a legendary.
That's true. You can see in the fusion on the far side here, the spiky head guy. I actually already have one. So that means I don't need to collect any of the champs underneath him for the fusion. And with fusions, we'll probably do a whole video on fusions someday. But with fusions, you have to level them to max level, and then you have to max ascend them. So it's a pretty big investment to do a fusion.
But if you're early game, you don't need to worry about it.
You're not doing any of that.
Don't worry about
this.
This is for fusions are more for mid to late game people.
Yeah. So this is just for your future self. Save a copy of all epics. Don't use them as books. don't use them for food. Oh God. Just save them. So that goes back to our earlier point about holding copies of champs, but epics and legendaries, especially, even if they're dupes, just keep them.
Okay.
Okay, that was this video. If you've been playing for a little while, what mistakes did you make that you wish you would have done better? Leave a comment below for the other newer players. If you're a new player, I hope this helped you and you picked Kael.
Also, check out our Shard Showdown video of us opening shards, preferably the first one.
No, you want the second one, because that... Anyway, watch them both. All right, everybody, bye!